and gentlemen, our viewers online, welcome to the Merge podcast. Welcome everyone. Thank you for logging in. Welcome to our lovely guests.
Thank you, thank you.
And this evening is a hot topic. It is hot. Oh my goodness, my phone is burning up in my hand. People are messaging me down. It's red, it's fiery, it's hot. Why do Trini men cheat? Why do Trini men cheat? Listen, we're just going to rest it on your chest and you will have to do the rest.
We hope we don't burn anybody tonight.
Yeah.
We hope we don't burn anybody tonight, but we want to explore the topic, why do Trini men cheat? And to do that with us, we have Dion Val. You know her. We're going to welcome her tonight to the platform. She would have been here before, as well as David. Dennis, he is here with us tonight to explore this scintillating topic. Why do Trini men cheat? Kareina?
Yes.
Trini men cheat? Like first things first. Trini men cheat? Sweet Trinbago man, let's cheat.
She starts sipping already.
You know, when you look on social media, there are persons who talk about Grandy man don't cheat.
Arima
man don't cheat. You know,
wonder where our viewers join us from, boy.
Yeah.
Jassy, are you in the chat? I know you're a Central man. Please let us know what Central men are doing.
Yeah.
Share the chat with somebody. Share the chat with anybody.
Definitely.
Not him now, share the chat. Share the
link.
link.
Share the link.
You see, I tell you, the hot all my brain burning up here. Pressure.
So we have this share the link, and we're gonna get into the topic shortly.
Yeah.
Why do Trini men cheat? I think it's a pertinent topic for us to deal with, because if we don't deal with why something happens or why a phenomenon is experienced, then how do we stop it from happening? So sometimes there are some people who believe that you leave these topics off the table altogether and you pretend like it doesn't exist, that you stick your head in the proverbial sand. But I think it's something that we have to tackle head on to be able to probe the psychology of our societies,
The sociology
of our societies to figure out why these things happen, so that we can figure out how we can really backtrack to stop. People talk about having an affair-proof marriage, and those things. Can you indeed have an affair-proof marriage? These are more we're gonna explore right now. So getting right into the thick of it, and of course, coming up later, we have a guru. Still locked on. We're not going to tell you who the guru is yet. It's going to be a surprise. All right, we have a big Dan in the house tonight.
All right.
Yes, we have a big Dan in the house tonight.
And watch now, we already get some comments coming in from a Central man, Ronaldo Hines. We just want to say good evening. Not going to ask you what Central men do, but Ronaldo Hines, a good upstanding Central man. Thank you for joining us this evening.
And of course, we want to welcome all viewers from around the world. We understand we have persons joining us from Barbados, from Guyana, and our usual audience from the United States of America, Canada, wherever you're joining us from. And we want to welcome you. This is the Merge podcast.
And Ulla Copeland was the first. You have to big up who was first. One time waiting. Ulla Copeland was the first person commenting in the chat this evening.
Hot in the chat, Ulla Copeland. Welcome to the platform this evening. We want to remember, we want to encourage your comments. We want to dialogue with you. This is not about a presentation. We want a dialogue with you as our community as we discuss these topics together. We want to hear what you think, we want to share what we think, and we're going to come together with a consensus that would build us up as people. So I'm going to get right in there. Dion is only smiling.
She ready, Alice. She ready. Trust me.
Last week.
She ready.
And so I want to start asking us, can a woman make a man cheat? That's a phenomenon. That's one. Can a woman make a man cheat?
You all want me to tackle the question first?
Take a
Go? Okay. So I don't think a woman can make a man cheat. I don't think anybody can make someone do something. However, I think if cheating happens, if I'm cheated on, I have some sort of responsibility to bear, as in for picking that person who cheated on me. So that's why I think that a woman can't make a man cheat, but ultimately you have some level of responsibility if that happens or if that situation ever occurs in a relationship.
And that's what cheaters always say. That's what they always say. They tend to rationalize and try to justify their actions, and blame somebody else. You understand? For why they choose to cheat. So sometimes they will say things like, if it wasn't so fat, he didn't get so fat, I would not have
I marry a
cheated.
slim woman. How you?
Yeah,
you
so
know?
they would say comments and blame the other person to justify themselves. While they can't make somebody cheat, it is their choice at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, we have Ronaldo here saying Central men don't cheat.
All right.
All right, so
And
ladies,
somebody
I know where
said-
to go and find
Yo,
good men.
Crystal Alexander, happy Sabbath. Denise until Crystal Alexander said, no, a woman cannot make a man cheat. Encourage his thoughts of cheating, yes.
Oh, that's a ticklish one.
Encourage us
What
to-
we mean by that? Encourage his thoughts of cheating.
So you probably was.
That's
Crystal, explain yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, what you mean?
How we can encourage, she can encourage his thoughts of cheating. I guess
I think
maybe.
it's because of the wife's behavior.
Okay.
Right? So, you're not doing certain things and stuff like that. While I just contradict everything I just
Yes,
said.
yes, you support my point.
but at the same time, to explain her point, that is what she meant.
Okay. okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe what she's saying is that, and I think it can be a fair analysis to say that behavior doesn't just happen in a silo like that. So maybe there may have been some motivations, but ultimately the responsibility for somebody cheating doesn't fall on anyone else except the individual that cheated. So we don't want to go about doing victim blaming. Where a person have been a victim of cheating and the first thing you say, so what did you do? You understand? You wasn't cooking. And I mean, we look at magazines, I grew up with, all you don't know about these things, the younger generation, Reader's Digest and all them kind of thing. But you grew up reading these things about what a woman could do to stop her man from cheating and those types of things. So I mean, just obviously the next question is, which is an inversion of this same question. Can a woman do anything to stop her man from cheating?
No.
No,
To be
Leah?
honest, no. He's in control of his own life and stuff like that. While as a woman, you could do the world of things. You could treat a man the best that you could possibly do. Cook his food, wash his clothes, bring up his children. At the end of the day, and he has a choice to make whether he still could go out there and cheat on him. Yeah.
I want to agree with that. If the guy is a cheater, there isn't anything that a woman could do in the world to say, well, there are sayings that are coming to mind that I really can't say on the platform, but you really can't change an individual unless they want to be changed.
So when you say if the guy is a cheater, he will cheat. So is it like is the personality defined by the behavior in that once a cheater, always a cheater, you know what I mean? So if you go and cheat, a chronic cheater.
But I think before you probably get into a relationship with a person, you should probably ask, have you ever cheated in the past?
Right.
That's a question you probably should ask. And if they say yes, the likelihood that you could get cheated on is very high.
Yes, that is true.
They probably might have changed or had some major intervention in their life, but if they say yes, listen, you ain't that special. You probably can get it too as well.
I agree.
And that's why plenty of persons think there might be the exception to the rule that might change him or might change it. He will never do me this or she might never do me that. You ain't that special.
And even when it pertains to cheating, because you look at some phenomena, you look at plenty of people say, he have a real nice wife, if you see how pretty the wife, and if you see the girl he went and cheated on her with, you try to figure out the maths not mathsing. Mind blown, And I think it speaks to the fact that if you're a cheater and that is in you, unless you ask for the strength of God to transform your life and stuff, the equations, no matter how we try to tweak it, doesn't make sense. So you could say, she working hard, she taking care of the family, and she keep herself pristine. But if you're a cheater, sometimes they go for the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And so it makes no sense. So there must be something underlying that whole thing about cheating rather than she make him, he make her.
And a lot of times too, like you say that, and what came to mind was generational curses.
Okay.
How, an example is David and Bathsheba. Right?
Go ahead.
All right, David, David.
I'm feeling offended, but go ahead.
David and Bathsheba, and Solomon was the son.
Right.
And Solomon had a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was the fruit of infidelity, it transcended to his life. While he had a choice to make a decision to be better and to make wiser decisions, he didn't.
Okay.
You know, so generational curses can affect your lifestyle and your choices that you make.
I think that's a powerful point. Because, I mean, in being able to spot a cheater now, maybe you have to go back in someone's ancestry and look to see. I mean, the same can be said about many behaviors.
Yes.
They say the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And even when you look at abusive tendencies, you find that somebody who abusing, when you look some relative before them used to be an abuser as well, or they themselves were abused.
So is it learned behavior then?
I guess you can say that to some degree.
I'd say learned and normalized that degree too, so like it isn't something shocking like, oh gosh, you know, she cheated on a man. Well, that is normal, so it becomes normal, and it being normal, it's happening when be like, oh my gosh, just like another day on planet Earth.
Yeah.
But to that question, do you think you can spot a cheater, or what are some of the red flags?
Yes, of course you can spot a cheater.
Tell us, Dion. Tell us
how you spot a cheater.
I'll then take out a notepad.
Once
Dion's gonna
his name is M-A-L-E.
Oh my! Dion! You can't say that, Dion!
Yes,
Sorry,
you
spell
can.
that again. M-A-L-E.
Hey, hold on.
What?
I just making sure that the viewers.
So once he's a man,
What
he's
she
a
said,
cheater.
yeah.
That's what you're saying, Dion?
And here the thing, and
Guys.
somebody is calling out central men here. Somebody say Ronaldo, it's not good to lie, especially during Sabbath hours on central men. So somebody come in the chat and defend. Can you spot a cheater, ladies and gentlemen, trendsetter? Can you spot a cheater? Because
How do you
clearly,
spot a cheater, David?
let's hear this.
It's for me. It's easy, right? So the first thing is just ask them, "Can I see your phone, please?" Anytime that young man or young woman, yeah, be careful. Yeah. Anytime that, from my point of view, anytime that young woman, the young lady says, what you want to see my phone for? Fellas, do not carry on a date, do not spend a cent, keep your money in your pocket, don't pass go, do not collect $200. Take your
Spend
token,
$200.
don't spend $200, take your token and go home. Yeah, so for me, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's one.
So suppose she just find you insecure.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. You can find her insecure, ma'am. Can I please see your phone? Listen, you're not working in the CID. You don't have any quote-unquote information that the world can know about.
Classified.
Classified. Unless you're probably really working in the CID. I would understand. But if you're using secretary, listen, secretary, can I see your phone, please? Right, so I think your phone, Dion will disagree with me. Plenty male friends, come on. You shall plenty male. Oh, I'm a friend.
Every male is your friend.
I'm a friend. That to me is a red flag. It might seem insecure, but that's my red flag, and it's staying right with me.
No, I think at the end of the day, once these men, you introduce them to your significant other and say, these are my friends. These are my friends.
I have a question
they
for
are
Asta.
upstanding young men
To you.
to everyone, as they can see, and get them all acquainted. If I have to hide, however, my male friends, then something wrong.
Yeah, but I think
I have a question to ask
So you
after
cheating
Jayden.
in front?
no, it's
in front of
a
the
man new
people
model
that's
type of cheating, no?
Oh, let me hear that.
Where the woman come and introduce it to all the
All the
friends,
friends
you
who
know.
she cheating with?
Yeah, because you see, we go on past the times where you keep the fella, and the fella never hear about him. So the first time your husband or your
It's
partner
a
hear about it,
razor,
it's
it'll be
like,
like, what?
these days they come in and introduce in here. They come in, this is my friend from primary school, me and him real good, my colleague, this, that. And you thinking
So that way, if you
comfortable.
always hear about them,
Correct.
that's okay.
Yeah.
It won't raise a red flag in your mind. So it's a kind of,
That's to make you comfortable.
right, it's to break the whole
Yeah.
stick,
So they mix
the
some
whole
truth
thing
with a
around.
little lie.
But the thing is,
No, you make the truth with the truth.
yeah, but Dion, right? So if you introduce your significant other to your male friends and you say, listen.
Hey, I don't like how you say it, if you. I don't like how you say it, if
Okay.
you.
Okay. If a lady introduces her significant other to her male friends, and he says, "Here, what? You see, John, I find John real kind of suggestive when he talking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, John, nah, man.
Yeah.
You see, you see John, watch John. No, he's my. Would you listen to your significant other?
Of course I would. And vice versa. So if a man now has a lot of female friends, and women have these instincts and stuff. Come on, babe.
Listen.
could see a woman who like you from the get-go.
So wait.
She didn't have to do much. I could see.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
I agree.
So
I agree.
Wait, so you are blessed with the skills of seeing
Yes.
into the
Lord, I
future.
mentioned her eyes and eyesight.
Yes.
How you really that to the end?
No. That's the thing. I could be out beyond on that. With
No, but
regards to
I agree. I understand it because men too have it, where it concerns men.
Right.
The problem you have, and that's how for me you can spot a cheater, is you see when the man comes to his significant other, he says, "Here what? This fella figure he like you know,
Yeah.
and she become all of a sudden an
Defensive.
attorney at law, chief defense number one. No, he does and defending this man down. It's like, why are you defending this to your husband, who you or your spouse, who you pledged to love and who you're committed to? And why you're going down that road? If I tell you, I'm sensing something there, respect that at least.
And majority, 99.999% of the time, it is the truth.
somebody. I feel I know who this is.
Anyway.
I feel I know who this is. See, Lady 100 says David killing me. Yes, like he has experience in this area. Ronaldo.
I'm one of the people. Just go ahead.
Ronaldo Hines says it's not wrong having friends of the opposite sex. However, I do believe that healthy boundaries must be established and maintained when one is in a relationship. So I want to hinge on that point where you would have said, and Jade, when you ask the question, if your significant other say, so, don't be attorney at law, number one.
Yeah,
Take what,
you must at least be open and say, okay, let me see if I get see the same signs you see now. And after I might say, hey, you know, you're correct, you really see something really inappropriate.
Yeah. But sometimes just trust your spouse.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I think Dion had a question to ask here.
Yes. Who cheats more? Men?
Oh,
gosh.
I feel like if Brian Thompson was reading this question, before you even ask the question, he come in and chat. It is said women cheat more than men.
And I would like to disagree with you, Brian.
Jassy, respect. Good night, Jassy.
Tell us why you think so, Dion.
While men may cheat more, women may cheat a lot better.
Aye.
Why I say that is because
This thing getting high.
men are quicker to get caught, as opposed to a woman, she could skillfully cover her tracks. Right? And why I also say that is because men can have sex without having an emotional connection. So you could just hook up with everybody and not feel a thing. While a woman, on the other hand, she have to have some sort of attractiveness or liking to the person before she could enter that road, unless she has the mind of a prostitute.
Wow.
And it's transactional. So, and that is why a man can never ever take a horn. He go dead. You just go dead.
That's not.
You understand?
So let me answer the question. Who cheats more, a woman or a man? And a woman or a man? And obviously the question is, a woman able to cheat more than a man? Simply because she is listen, as I was saying before.
But you say she able to.
And that means, because I'm most likely because you're able to means you would, right? As you were saying before, I said, Dion, if you or Kareina or our lady post up, I want some food or something like that on your WhatsApp status or Instagram, your DM going to be full, your phone going to be ping, 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 ping. If I or Jayden post up that, you're still checking. My internet not working, but your internet working very fine. So I think women probably women will be tackled more or tracked more or pursued more, and because they have more options. A woman will always have more options than a man most times, and because you have more options.
If she gets older, I think your options decrease.
Okay, well yeah, it does. Yeah. But in both of you all quote unquote prime, whenever it may occur, Whatever a primary right?
We are in our
I think a woman will always have more options, and I think she would be more likely to cheat than a man.
While she may have more options, she may not like all the options. So therefore, it is in a very slim line. She will want to take that next step.
That's not
I
her cup
I
of
want
tea.
to understand what Dion's saying, because we spoke about the male and female differences, and
Yes.
a man, I mean, his attraction and his physical desire is just all and sundry. It's wide, but as Dion was saying prior, in order for a woman to get into that space, she needs like an emotional connection. So, I mean, trying to weigh the options between the genders, who cheats more and stuff, I think if you're saying that a woman has to be more selective in terms of who she connects with.
Unless she has a mind
then-
of a prostitute.
Unless you, no, that's
Wait,
another
wait,
phenomenon.
just know it. And then for a woman to cheat too, it might take a little more time than a man cheating. So then it could
Okay.
be less, you know, the
Yes.
space, it could be less.
But,
So
it's
for
better
that-
but we
about
have,
a week.
no, I mean, I want to be very careful how I say this.
Mind of a prostitute.
But we in contemporary society, we have a lot of women who are engaging, some innocently, some not so innocently, in prostitute-like transactions.
Alright.
Because prostitution is selling virtue for money, right?
Yeah.
Selling your body for money. And there are many women out here now in contemporary society who take favors from men for sexual favors. So they want sugar daddies and all that type of thing. And it's common.
Yes.
You know, so the women and they get their iPhones for their birthdays and they get all this stuff. And the men have no problem in contemporary society spending the money because we're going to get what we want.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to carry the girl. I'm going to carry the girl on trips to Barbados and to wherever. You know, I'm going to buy that latest, that Samsung. Joseph, what Samsung is the latest, eh?
25 Ultra.
25 Ultra and all. You know, you're going to really fork out that money because there's something expected. And I mean, even in circles that I've been around, you know, I've seen men, you know, spend exorbitant amounts of money and I doubt it.
Dance.
It's just so.
Yeah, it will never be
It's
just.
just so.
And you know, coming in hot in the chat, persons are asking, is cheating limited to physical? So this is something, because we're talking about selling your body for money, virtue, things like that. But does it have another dynamic to cheating? Is there another realm of cheating that's not physical?
Yeah, I think cheating.
And David, sorry,
Yeah,
people are coming at you in the chat.
that is okay.
All right, people
They don't have a gun to my head, so I'm not
No, but
frightened.
they're supporting you. Jassy is saying strong points.
Lovely
David.
Jassy.
I
You
was
see, the
gonna
man
give
in
you a
chat
bounce,
probably
I just want to
supporting me.
give you a
Jassy virtual bounce.
Yeah, and who
Cheating
are the
limited.
guests? Cleon Richardson want to know. This is Dion, this is David. Join us right here. If you didn't know, now you know. And is cheating just limited to physical?
Just now, before we go on, Jassy said one important thing about the
Tell me.
prostitution type behavior. Fan models.
Oh, sorry.
And-
you know, I just
And besides only fan models.
only fans.
Only fans. I don't know the thing, but
Yeah, that's a good thing.
besides only fans models, I mean, some people Instagram accounts. You know, the type
True.
of skin that they're showing, it's almost like only fan, what you call it? You know
Only
what-
fans.
what
That's cool.
only fans.
Yes.
So Karina, you was asking the question if cheating is limited only to
Physical.
no, because they could emotionally cheat.
Yeah.
Probably invest in your. You could cheat. Yeah, invest in your time, spending plenty time with this person, talking on the phone, and they have a significant other. So I think cheating wouldn't be limited to being physically cheated. Yeah.
And I want to add to that. Some people are cheaters, but they just never get opportunity, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah.
So are you a
correct, correct.
cheater? If
They have cheating tendencies.
yeah, you have cheating tendencies, and you will
just
cheat
activate.
If in the right
if you,
situation.
if you get the right combination, if you get the right situation,
Yes,
you
yes.
will cheat. So I mean, I think therein lies emotional cheating as well, because you're with your
Emotional
emotional infidelity.
Yeah.
Because you're with your partner, but you have fantasies, you have your eyes on other people, and if those other people only give you an opportunity, in your mind, there's no Joseph situation here with
running from Potiphar.
running from Potiphar wife, you know.
All your real tackling Dennis brothers. This one David, that is Joseph. Just listen, Joseph couldn't meet our mics, huh? Big up Joseph and Kenya and Whitney,
Yeah,
same
man.
way. Big up in person. But the thing is, David, they want to know what you,
Mhm.
what you've, sorry, where the question go? What do you consider cheating? That is what somebody was asking.
Right, so it had to be from the context of a marriage. Let me say, if a man spending the money on our next woman and you're your wife, Obviously physically cheated.
Right, yeah.
Let me see. As I said before, emotionally investing into someone else. So those are some of the examples of cheating.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair, fair.
And you could do it in social media. Social media has a big part to play in cheating as well. You know, you can sit on your toilet bowl and you're cheating on your wife.
That's true.
That's how dread social media is. And we have to be very careful how you filter. You have, as a person, you have to know your weaknesses. You know, and if you love a woman, because I mean, let's be honest, Trinidad have some of the most beautiful women
That's right.
you would ever see on the face of the earth.
That's right.
And as a man, you have to know your weaknesses. You know, and social media has a strong part to play in that.
So question. If somebody is just enjoying the company of a person of the opposite sex, and there is some sort of attraction, but they just enjoying the company. So as you say, they sit them on the toilet bowl, and they're on the phone and they're just smiling, kiki.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but the intention is never to take it to that next step, but you just innocently enjoying the company of this person. And in some cases, they may even be open with the partner about, this person is my good friend, and you know, we just chat and that kind of thing. Is that some level of infidelity emotionally?
Correct. It's the beginning of a natural disaster.
Okay.
Because you may feel that may be your intention. She just schoolboy. She make him a laugh boy. I find it cool.
You tickle my fancy.
Yeah,
That's the
but
tropical wave.
but on the flip side, that person may be growing strong feelings.
Yeah. Into a tropical
And you
storm.
just here and she
ITC.
quite here and then
Category 5 hurricane.
You understand?
So
Wow.
that could be that it is cheating. Once you have a thought, and that's like how sin starts, right, in your mind. So you have a thought and you say, okay, good boy, if I was only single boy, he could have, or she could have.
If you get it, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to talk the things.
Yeah.
And I mean, earlier on, you know, Dion, you were telling me that, you know, when somebody do this.
Yes.
What's that?
That's when the birds texting and you just blame it on the group chat.
So that's like how to spot a cheater as well?
Well, in a formal setting.
Okay.
Yeah, you're in a restaurant and they phone so. Alright.
No,
Why you hiding?
no, listen, because I don't want to be distracted by the messages on my phone. I want to give you my full attention.
Yeah,
Therefore, I want to put my phone, I put on airplane mode whenever I'm with you. So it's not that cheating, I just put it on airplane mode so I can give
So
you...
disrupt the navigational device.
Yes, I can give you my full attention. And I don't emotionally cheat on you by looking at Instagram. I'm looking out for us.
No, that is a red flag. Why you putting it on airplane mode? That is crazy.
Oh my. Okay.
So like, I mean, we talking about, and the caption was why Trini men cheat. So like, Dion said, once your name Male. But in Trinidad culture, right, we, from way back probably 1984, calypsos, different things like that, I mean, we hear about a deputy essential.
Jesus.
No. And we hear about where I'm from, because I'm from the west side, right? I will not throw up any gang signs. I'm from the west side, and up on my side there's a street called Hornaman Lane.
I know exactly where that is in Diego Martin.
Yes. And you know, there's a story behind these things, and almost to the merit of glorifying the culture of cheating, or promoting the culture of cheating. So I want to know, does the Trinidadian culture glorify or promote cheating with all of these, you know, different attributes that we have and in our society?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say yes, to a certain extent, because that is what you described as carnival, right? Carnival is just colors and fats and promiscuity and nakedness and all these things. So much so I have a song.
Alright.
Sing it first, Dion. Sing it.
No, I cannot sing, but I will read the lyrics, right? So it's from two popular soca artists.
Don't make
right?
us have to sing here this over.
Right. So here it goes.
Sabbath.
Look where we reach again. End up in a party in the streets again. Even though I never want to cheat, it's 1,000 man and 1,000 gal. I wanna jam all, right? So you can jam up on who you want, and I will wind up on who I like, yeah. And if you feel to wind on anybody inside there, like yourself. Like yourself, right? Look where we reach here now. We bringing up sand on the, why you bringing sand on the beach here now? Just today the relationship read, I is not your man, you is not my girl until we reach home, right? So this is our song. So imagine putting a beat to that, mixing it with alcohol, mixing it with sexy men and women on the streets, leaving nothing to imagination. Being faithful is really all we do. And that's our culture. That's just the vibe of carnival and you know, that's Trinidad and Tobago.
Is that the same song that says "Wine on Somebody, Girl"?
No, that's a different
song.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have so many songs that talk about whining on somebody else's girl.
So plenty girl have man acting like they single.
So those songs made with alcohol,
Very drunk from sour.
I mean, it is really, it pervades our culture, you know. It pervades our culture.
While it brings us to boost our economy and somewhat of tourism, it was really, if you're not strong enough, that's why they flee these things, right? And if you know you're weak, and I say, well, if I like myself out there and I don't want to go back home, the song say when the song done, come home to me. But if I don't want to come home to you and I like what I like outside there.
And it's a very serious. Sorry, Dave, you want to say something?
No, I just some of the ways to do it is just take yourself out of those kind of environments that would allow you or show your weaknesses. So if you know, if you know, don't go. Just don't go. Just if, as my friend say, if your name wasn't there, your name will not call. Right.
But
so if you know those situations or the culture in Trinidad does lend to that kind of promiscuous lifestyle, especially around carnival. So if you know that, just don't go. And as Adventists, I shouldn't even be saying this because we don't go fets.
But on the flip side, you would hear stories of married couples on the road, still married till this day. Years married and like partying and carnival. But that does not change the fact what carnival and that atmosphere brings. You know, he could still have a wandering eye, but they still choose to be together. You know, so it doesn't change the fact.
And just now before there's a very important side to that entire thing with the whole promiscuity. When you look at the health side of it, with regards to HIV and AIDS and that debilitating disease that would come because of multiple sexual partners, sometimes foreigners, coming to Trinidad as well. And
you know that debate's kind of dwindling because people no longer as fearful of it as they used to be because of the medications and the survival rate. Long ago when you get AIDS, well, you're gonna die. But now because of all the medications and stuff they have, people living full lives, and so there are studies taking place right now wondering if these things lend to more promiscuity. Because I mean, when I was young in school, they tell you they're frightened. They bring a whole contingent of people in school and scare you.
What again?
But there's still a stigma attached to it.
Yeah, definitely.
There is still a stigma, a very strong stigma attached to it. That it would also put a strain on our healthcare, even though there
definitely.
So there's an economic side that would impact us as well because of that kind of culture.
Well, going to the what we are talking about in terms of the carnival and stuff. For me, I would say don't even know yourself. Don't go all together. You know, and David said that, you know, because the truth is the Bible says don't be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals, good habits. And the Bible also says if you think you stand, take heed lest you fall. You know, so I think someone may go in there thinking, well, I'm strong enough, you know, I could go and I could watch it, and you know. But let me tell you something, the human nature and the biology, you know, that psychologically speaking, the idiot in you, trust me, it always has a way of rising up and fighting you. And sometimes, just like when you go to the beach and you go in the water, it doesn't feel the current until you raise up your head, you realize you're too far down. Sometimes you get involved in these waves of things, and you don't recognize how far you're into it until you raise up and you're like, wait now, how I get involved in all of this?
Yeah.
And testament to that is that not long ago, when I was young, I would have felt that persons who involve themselves in promiscuous behavior were bad people. You know, they were like ghetto people, whatever, how you want to phrase it. But you realize now that very sophisticated people involved in all of this thing. I mean, we talk about the stories of politicians not here in Trinidad. All right?
Here in Trinidad, here in Trinidad.
That is
You know, you
a
hear
real
about
place.
politicians, they hear about bank managers, they hear about prominent businessmen involving themselves in sexual rings of pornography and all these types of things. One of the recent deaths that we had down south and these things. So, you know, it's not, nobody's inoculated against it.
Yeah.
So, don't go and figure, well, but I strong and I will go around and watch this thing. And what behooves me, hear me out. I can never understand it. Of course, I'm speaking from an outside perspective, so I may have some blinders where this is concerned. I can't understand a group of friends going to a fete carnival and stuff, and somebody is whining on my girl,
Oh.
and me whining on somebody else's wife.
Yeah.
And to me, when I see that, and I'm like, something had to be wrong with that. Something had to be wrong with that. I don't know what whining on my wife.
And she
You
enjoyed
can,
it.
be, you can be my best friend. You can be my brother. You can be, I don't know what you're on my wife.
And she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You having too much of fun doing this. Come.
What goes on? Anyway, let me leave that alone. Let me leave that alone. Let me continue discussion. Yeah, so I want to ask the question, we looking at cheating and all these things. Is there anything that causes a man to cheat?
If the person probably isn't happy in the relationship they are in, so that could be one of the causes of them cheating. The thing, the grass is greener on the other side. The wife probably doesn't cook as good, and they find a woman in work, she bring in a real nice
That's
lunch.
your work wife.
Huh?
Your work
Yeah, I'm a
wife.
work wife or whatever. So that could be one of the things that would probably cause a man to cheat. So yeah, that's all that I could think of now.
Yeah.
Diane probably might have a list
Which
that
I
she
do.
might want.
I
Share,
do.
see,
do.
I'm telling you, yeah, share your list, Diane.
So Diane well do her research.
Yeah.
I do. When a man cannot control his emotions, a man who cannot control his emotions is a weak man. And when he can't control his emotions, when he's addicted to sex, that is also a cause for, cheating. Also, if he's bored and lack excitement in his relationship. What else? What else? You see me?
If he's a thirsty man,
I mean, if he has some kind of emotional disconnect or gap or whatever, he might seek to fill that void with something,
and
something
also,
else.
and
you know?
also your peer influence,
Yeah.
especially if you're married and you only have single friends, so that could,
when you
make
go out to the fellas.
yeah.
what wrong with the man going out to the fellas?
Yeah,
Nothing,
David.
nothing is
What-
wrong with
David,
that.
if I remember correctly, you say check the peer group, eh?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
guys, sorry.
Because more than likely, you're not in the same space as them mentally. So they would have their own experience that they are going through while you're on a different path.
I am converting them. I'm bringing them.
No, you're not. You're
I'm
not
bringing
the
them
Holy
over to the
Spirit.
marriage side. I'm giving them point of view the benefits of marriage. Just now we all be a married group.
You're not,
All of them be married. I say, gosh, go to the fellas.
you're not the Holy Spirit. You cannot convert nobody. But at the same time, you have to be mindful of your group of friends and that kind of thing.
And Sabrina Cicheran is chiming, Sabrina Nichols, sorry, is chiming in on the discussion, and Jas is agreeing also Dave, with you, David. Sabrina is saying people cheat when they're not feeling fulfilled in their relationship, whether the partner is withholding intentionally or not. And Crystal Alexander said also, if he is not God-fearing, cheating does not seem wrong to him, and that is very important.
And so I want to start to put a wrap on this. We have one more question to pose to our audience before we take a break and then we go to the guru. But, I want to join with Crystal if he's not God-fearing.
Big up Chrissy.
Yeah.
And big up Whitney chiming in. Be
Chrissy.
careful, little eyes, what you see.
Yeah.
What
To
you feed
me,
your mind
the
with.
root of cheating, all cheating, is immorality.
Right.
And I always tell people, you can't be immoral in one aspect of your life and choose when you will not be immoral.
Selective morality.
And also selective morality. So you can't say, well, boy, I have my girlfriend and we having sex outside our marriage and stuff, and we abusing all the laws of morality. But I'll be selective in other areas of morality. If you're an immoral person, you're gonna continue being an immoral person in other spheres of your life as well. And it's just a matter of time before sin, like a disease, creeps into these aspects of your life. So what you'd be doing, and this is why, you know, I never understood why God made men with a sexual desire so young. You know?
Yeah.
You know, like, we're not ready to get married yet. I believe, you know, I was thinking to myself as a young man, I believe God could have done something biologically
And then
so
when
that
they
when we
reach
say
it,
I do,
activate.
Yeah.
when they say I do, it activate. You know? I thought, you know, and I thought that to myself, and then I realized, yeah, what? God wants us to exercise morality and self-control. And that's what the Christian journey is about. Exercising self-control. And when we exercise self-control in our relationship, not going that extra distance in terms morally with your partner, then it also translates in when you get married. Because what you would be doing by breaking that immoral or that morality barrier in your relationship, you'd be exercising the spirit of lust, lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and you'd be emboldening that virtue, that trait. You'd be emboldening that in you. And so when you get married now, nothing switches after marriage, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's true.
All married people will tell
I'm
you,
married yet, but
when you say I do, nothing changes. So
That
if
is
you're an
true.
immoral person before, you're going to be an immoral person after. How you express that immorality is just yet to be seen.
Yeah. But God could change anyone, eh?
Definitely, of course.
You know, at a point in time, but don't let it be too late where you break up your whole marriage and then, you know, yeah.
But as we're on this point, do you all think someone could like cheat by mistake? Like, oops, sorry, love, it was a mistake. Come on, don't be too hard on me. Do you all think someone could cheat by mistake?
No, they can't. What is that? What is that? People,
So you don't
They
make
can't,
mistakes.
they can't cheat by mistake, but they can make a mistake and cheat.
people only admit to their mistake only when they get catch. So no, you can't just say, "Oops, I've fallen in somebody's pants." No.
Hurricane in the shelter or something.
You can't do that.
In an
That's
accident, the car swerved the something.
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay, all right, no problem. I just asking a question.
I think, I don't think you can cheat by mistake, but I think there's a slight nuance of the phrase. I think you can make a mistake and cheat. I think someone, you see, underestimating the flesh and the strength
Okay.
of the flesh,
Yeah.
especially when males are concerned. Women may not particularly suffer with that. But I've gone to school. I wouldn't say the school now, less, you know, but I've gone to school in secondary school and see the fellas in my class get involved with young ladies who they would usually ridicule, who everybody would make fun of. She wasn't the best looking, she was the, you know, they would ridicule her. And then when the time was, everybody was hot and, you know, all of a sudden you're seeing them same fellas was ridiculing her, you know, in the right moments, in the right doing things. And I'm saying that sometimes people can put themselves in position unwillingly and sometimes willingly. The truth is most of the times you know it.
You know what's going on.
The truth is most of the time it isn't. You just get a little feeling that, you know,
Yeah.
me and
This is
she
the right
in the
thing,
room alone coming and work on this
Something
assignment
might
here.
happen, you know.
Yeah, something might happen.
But yeah.
But the truth is that there's that probably 1% of occasion where an individual was really trying to mean well and the flesh got the better of them and they probably didn't go the full extent, but they would have cheated based upon, as we spoke about, the progression of cheating. They may have fantasized, they may have thing and then turn away or something from it, but whatever was already done. I don't think you'll go the full distance, and that's why I think there may be a difference in my mind between cheating and an affair.
Okay.
You know, something that was premeditated and planned
And over a long
and
period
over
of
a
time.
longer period
Yeah,
of time.
affair.
Yeah, it's an affair. But if somebody comes and, you know, something happened, it was a one-time thing, and they come and they confess, you know, to the spouse, maybe guilt at them, or the Holy Spirit was talking to them, and they say, you know, such and such, I was in work today, and, you know, this guy came on to me, and really and truly I had a eye for him all the time, but he just came on, and this happened, and I really,
What?
that is cheating.
That is it.
That is cheating, but it probably may have been a mistake. I don't know.
One last question.
Go through.
If that happens, do you think you should take back your partner? If they cheat on you?
It's all depends
Come on,
on
drink it.
That's what?
That is a story for.
I just asking.
As a matter of fact, I think.
And I have an
I
answer
think-
for it. I will get after.
Give us your answer. We had a question for the guru too, eh?
Of course not.
Of course
Of
not.
course not. Because
Yeah.
that probably, you might admit, that probably might be the first time you admit it to me. That probably might be the first time you have done it. And to me, I can't, if somebody does something like that, it's very difficult to regain their trust fully.
So,
And
but how about if they came to you
yeah, okay.
and told you
Okay.
that you know, I made a mistake?
Uh-huh.
Would you still deduce that because of their honesty? Would you not say, well, boy, they're honest here? They're probably honest because the guilt eating them in other.
Jayden, you know what? I went in your house and I take $100,000 from me. I know you're working for you, but can I still please be employed in your establishment? I'm so doing that. I thank you for honesty. Bring back my money. I won't tell the police, but you're fired. So I think that is, for me, I can't do that.
I guess
Persons
it
probably
depends,
have
yeah.
done it before.
Yeah.
I am not that man.
Yeah.
I will not.
Until
Yeah.
you too soon.
Yeah,
It does change things. You can never really 100% go back to how you
Yeah.
were before that.
I mean, I can share, I run the risk of something like a real boop say, but as a married man, assessing the situation, I can't say I will leave. I can't say I'll stay, but I can't say I will leave immediately. I think a lot has to do with the whole situation. And in my assessment, asking God for eyesight and to understand if the person is a cheater or this was just a one-time thing, and they came and they confessed to me and was open about it, and I look in because I judging it hard now.
And the
Eh?
extent.
You understand?
And
And
the extent.
the extent to which it went. Because I mean, as a man, there are certain things I can't get out of my mind, I can't get out of my life. The Holy Spirit have to help me with that. But I think from being an outside perspective now, being outside of the situation, I can say that as a married man, I'll try to make it work based upon the situation surrounding the infidelity.
Yeah.
So it will for you, it will depend on how it happened.
Yeah, definitely. If I find out, if I end up stumbling and finding out, and on top of that, you try to cover it up. You try to cover it up for me when I found out, absolutely no way. You're a cheater, you're a liar, you're a deceiver.
Yeah.
This one.
And the truth is not.
Yeah, you can kill me while I sleep.
And
I
if that's the case, and you know you can't handle going forward, then don't put yourself in that space.
Beautiful.
But forgiveness and God working in your life and stuff, anything could change and work it out.
You're forgiven, but we done. We done.
So there you have it, guys. That's David and Dion. We wanna thank them for being on the podcast tonight with us.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break now, and while we take the break, we have some information for you, and then we're gonna come to our guru, the questions we have to pose to our guru. So stick around, we'll be right back.
conversation with Dion and David, and I mean, whew, chat was lit. And now we just want to bring in some information. Stay tuned for coming in, but before we get into that segment, we want to let you know and remind you about the marriage. That is happening. The marriage is happening on the weekend. Marriage retreat happening in Tobago on the plantation. And if you want to hear more information about that, you can check out the Merge Facebook page as well as the website where you can register. It is that, respite that you can get as a married couple is going to be exquisite. It's a way to celebrate your marriage relationship. You haven't done anything for your spouse for this entire year. Why not end it off on a good note? That's not a good thing to say that you haven't done anything for your spouse for an entire year. But, make it count.
Yeah.
Make the year count.
Definitely. Well, we're glad that you would have joined us from episode 1 to here right now. And we just want to take the opportunity to share with you what Merge is. Well, Merge stands for the Marriage Enrichment and Recommitment to God and each other. It's a marriage support group. And we meet every month, and we have beautiful sessions on communication. The group has been functional for the past 16 plus years. Yes, 16 years. It's co-founded by our presenter, our guru tonight. Co-founded by our guru. He has led the group well. He is a pastor. He is a therapist and a counselor for many decades. I was thinking about how long Merge has been in existence. And I've realized, but wait now, almost about half my life this group in existence.
Yep.
And they've been doing things from traveling throughout the country, having fun picnics, doing a lot of fun stuff with couples.
Doing marriage building activities.
Yeah.
And they even have a chapter in Tobago.
They have a chapter in Tobago.
Yes.
So if you're from Tobago viewing and you want to join the Merge group, you can just reach out to any one of us. We're going to give you that contact information to join the Merge group over there. Of course, if you want to join the Merge group here, you can just shoot us some comments, and we're going to get you linked up to that group. So just sharing with you all before we go straight to our guru. This podcast is actually the Merge group's attempt to share the messages that we have. We saw it so vital to this world and to the communities, and persons have been really asking for us not to have it in this little Merge group, although Merge group not very little, but they're asking for us to expand it, and so we thought this year we would carry it online, and we thought we'd carry it online instead of a seminar workshop style.
It's a podcast.
We'd carry it on a podcast for our younger people to hear, to experience it. This is intended to be a counter narrative to all the misinformation that Christians are getting out there from the feminists and from the atheists and all those other ists. We want to be a counter narrative to really explore Christian perspectives in a contemporary setting about marriage. Well, without further ado, we have with us the man himself, the commander-in-chief of the Merge group, along with his wife. Well, his wife isn't here with us tonight. He's no other than my father, Kareina's father-in-law, Pastor Rennie Sentil. Welcome.
Welcome to the Merge podcast.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here to share what is happening with you and to be able to talk to the wider audience. Good night, everyone.
So we were sharing with them before about the Merge end of year celebration, marriage celebration.
Yes.
You want to share some information in terms of that with
It's an activity that we have been having for the past 15 years. Every 15 years, at the end of the year, we celebrate marriages. So we have an anniversary celebrations. We toast the couples and we have couples recommit themselves, not formally, but just in a beautiful social setting so that they can just enjoy each other's company and start again the journey of another year again.
Beautiful. Well, you all may wonder, you may be wondering if I don't know all this information. Well, Kareina and I are only married about 5 years now.
Yes.
So we are new to Merge, relatively new to Merge. And so, we appreciate you being here with us tonight. And so we're going to get right into it. We left off asking some really scintillating questions about if somebody cheats, should you stay? And so the first question I'm going to ask you one time is, what is an appropriate response to cheating in the marital context versus the unmarried context? Is there differences in how we should respond, or?
Well, first of all, I've learned from a long time, and even in school, I think all of us would have known that cheating is wrong. So
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
short answer.
Right.
That's the short answer. Cheating is wrong. When you go to school and they tell you about cheating, you would get a knock on your rap, you know, and even at home as well. And even as we talk about home and school, and we'll get back to that some other time. But when you think about, you're talking about marital cheating and even persons who are not married cheating, when you start cheating and you're not married, you set a pattern of behavior that can carry through. Because, you know, one person told me sin is sweet, you know. Sin is sweet,
It
you
is.
know. And you set that pattern of behavior and you are rewarded by it. And so it's reinforced in your mind, and over time it becomes a habit. So even when you're not married and you do get married, the tendencies is even more with that pattern to carry over into marriage. So the risk, not that you have to, but sometimes the risks are higher because of the pattern that you would have had before. You would have come with a pattern of behavior and it's sort of ingrained into you. It's almost a lifestyle. And now you have said your vows, you have said I do, you made a covenant with God, but now there are forces that fight in you still, you know, because of that pattern of behavior. Yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, I could talk to the online audience and I'll say as well. For me, if I am married, as I mentioned before, my response was for the married person in a married context. If I was single, it'd have no way that we going forward with this. There's no way.
No covenant, nothing.
No covenant. I'm not going to set up a lifelong covenant with somebody who has proven to have cheating tendencies. So I'm not going to do it. My response is going to be different. In the marital context, I'm going to try to work it out because, you know, there was a covenant that was made and you have some level of respect and sanctity in that covenant. But from boyfriend, girlfriend, I wouldn't even advise people, you know, my friends and stuff, if your partner is cheating and stuff, and you're not married, this is the time to get out.
Yeah. They're showing you the colors, so why are you playing dead? Yeah. And we heard from your introduction, Pastor Senthil, that you know you're a therapist and you're definitely into the psychological aspect of things. So we want to know, is there any psychosocial phenomenon that is behaviorally linked to that cheating?
Yes, definitely. Sometimes the context of our lives allow us to be exposed to certain environmental situations that can cause us to have feelings of, you know, what is prompted to you. I think it was mentioned earlier in the first half, learned behavior. There are some behaviors are learned. And of course, we know children learn what they see. And as growing up hearing certain things, and these messages keep coming to you, then sometimes you think that it's a part of you, that this is a lifestyle that you can adopt. I remember at the age of 18, a guy who was older than my father, this young lady was coming on to me and giving gifts and giving just different things, and I was, of course, I repelled her, and the guy told me, he said, but you only playing stupid. He said, the girl, you don't see the girl like you and all that. And this is an elderly person and given that kind of advice. And of course, you know, you would have heard advice, you'll have heard persons talking about, you know, like if it's a norm, you know, it is something that you can do. So sometimes you grow up in an environment where the little children, they learn. Sometimes parents try to hide from children and we do things, but children are bright, they're intelligent, and they pick up on some dishonesties and some things like that. And so sometimes we learn these behaviors, and that these behaviors can be carried into our relationships, you know, and if we are not careful, we can just have a whole epidemic of cheating if we are not strong enough. Of course, we understand the God factor, and we understand what it is to be able to have a relationship with God to help us to mitigate some of the influences that can easily come. But, you know, the whole idea of growing up under, I remember even I was in Tobago, and hello to my Tobago friends. I was in Tobago, and my wife and I were in the water, and I heard an elderly lady talking. When I say elderly, she's in her 50s, talking to a young girl, and the topics and the conversations that she had, it make my blood curl, you know, the kinds of things that she's telling a young lady. So what I'm saying is pervasive in society.
Yeah.
The whole idea, and as was mentioned in the first half as well, the song that was, you know, the songs that we sing, it sort of seeps into people's mind, you know, and it's no respecter of category of persons at all, because persons who have influence as well, they use that influence. But it's the same carnal nature. It's the same carnal nature. We are prone. Some people suppress it, and some people understand their relationship with God, and the whole issue of morality steps in, and we turn our eyes away from situations like that. But it is a culture that seems to be very pervasive in our community. Not only in Trinidad,
because that was actually, I mean, to those of you who are viewing, we coined it Trini men, but really and truly, this isn't something that is unique to Trinidad. You know, Tobago. Oh my goodness, Tobago, I mean, men with so many different families.
Children.
And I imagine around the world as well. This is a phenomenon. And of course, we're expanding it to not only speak about men, because we realize that men aren't the only persons who cheat, but women. But specifically, the reason we want to tune in a little bit on men is because I've realized that in our society, especially in yesteryear, maybe not so much so now, but cheating was frowned upon by women. You were considered promiscuous, and you were given all types of names in primary school and stuff too. If you were a person that had multiple partners. But for men, that has seemed to be something that has been celebrated, you know, and you know, he's a player, you know, and so therein lies the advice you got, that you only play stupid, you know, deal with the girl matters. So my question really is, in contemporary society now, we have this explanation of the male biology and versus the female biology, that men were created to have so many sperm. A man can impregnate several women. So a man can impregnate 100 women in a day and have 100 children, while a woman, she cannot do the same. You know, she gets one egg every month. And so based upon the nature and the fact that God would have put drive in a man to be the one pursuing, some in society, contemporary society, seem to suggest that we were biologically designed,
that's a base nature,
to have multiple partners, and women were biologically designed to be with one partner. And of course, there are schools of thoughts and even religions that purport or support this type of notion. What do you say about that?
Well, and what you're saying is true, it's correct. I read in a Caribbean context that the phrase that tie the heifer but loose the bull.
Right.
You must say that before. Tie the heifer and loose the bull. It suggests that the woman, we keep our, the heifer, of course, for those of you who don't know, is a female cow, right? And the bull, of course, is the male. And it suggests that, and you know, you look at society that we take care of our girls more, our girl children more, and we leave the boys and they are out there, and their curfew time is later than the girls' curfew time and all that. But the issue of the biological aspect of it, that is correct. That is, you know, in terms of the drive that a man naturally has. And of course, that helps him, that drive that he has is not just about sex. It's about performance, it's about doing things. It helps him to focus, you know. I mean, we're not talking about the sex drive itself, but, you know.
The drive in general.
But it's a drive that God has given man an initiative to do things, to build, to promote, but sometimes people use it for ill gains, you know, for as they say, worthless purposes, you know. But yes, God has given man that drive, but God didn't intend for it to be used in a way that it violates the seventh commandment that He Himself gave.
Okay.
He Himself gave the seventh commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery, and yes, He Himself has given the drive, but we can pervert the use of what is good, you know, we can pervert the use. We have the the male who thinks that he is special because there is that ego. It was mentioned before. There's that ego in the male that suggests to him that he is supposed to be on top of his game, and and sometimes the game is sexual relationships, and that's how he scores. Sometimes he doesn't seem to want to score in his achievement and building up his families and doing exploits and all that. But he chooses the lesser of everything in terms of his sexual activity, and so but. Both the man who is progressive and the man who just lazing around, it's a drive that they have. It's how they choose to use it, how they choose to use that drive to build up or to just be promiscuous, as you said. But we do have a drive. We do have a strong intake that propels us to do and to achieve great things.
And I like that different spin on it. So at least we could see that you use it for a positive, you use that drive for a positive outcome. And we've spoken about the topic at length, and I'm sure there are a plethora of podcasts and research and all these things on cheating and what causes cheating, how much cheating, who cheats more. And as Jayden would have started off the podcast asking, if you don't know why, then you may not be able to address or to pinpoint why something happens and to treat with the ill of that situation. So at this point, we want to find out, we want to dig deep and find out, and we did hint it during the podcast, but what is the root of all this cheating that we have been speaking about? What is the root of it?
All right. The root of cheating, I think it's a crisis of character.
Okay.
It's a crisis
Rocks
of
and
character.
Somebody put crisis
But I
in
want
the
to
chat.
status.
Crisis of character.
Because all of us, we are the same, and we have the same drives and same energies, but sometimes, and I mentioned before, home and school, right? And so we're going back there in terms of the understanding of home training. It is a fact that some parents train their children to serve certain goals, but there are some parents allow their children to grow up. And there's a difference between training our children and allowing them to grow up. And there was a correctional institution that had some young people, and the administrator of that group, he said they put everything in place for those young persons in the correctional institute. And after trying everything, after the time expired, and they had sent them back out, he said, we have failed because they come back, they're repeating the same offense, even though we did everything that we thought we could have. And he said, what he sums it up to is a lot of young people don't know anything about integrity. They don't understand it. When you tell them about, you're not supposed to cheat in work, and when I say cheat, not, in terms of a fair works salary for, working for the salary that you're supposed, that you're assigned to work. Fair pay. People, young people, what he is saying, young people, they don't know that. They don't understand that. They say, get through the work as much as you can without the boss knowing. If you could see, so the crisis in terms of values and morality, that is pervasive in society, that can be the root cause for persons not holding a standard. You remember, as people of integrity, people of God, we are supposed to have a standard. The Bible talks about the Lord would raise up a standard against it, and the standard really is the law of God, and of course the one is seventh commandment. That's one part of the law. But sometimes people go through life without having a standard at all, without a frame of reference, and anything happens and it moves. And I said it's character. It's character building. So when you go through life without any kind of set standards and anything, it happens and you just swing where it goes. Life is so fluid. Temptation can be easy. You don't have a reference point to say that, no, I can't do this, you know, I'm not supposed to do this. Like Joseph said, I can't do this and sin against God. I just can't do it. It's not in me to do it, because he held a standard, you know, and he knew God's standard. So sometimes people just go through life without any kind of value systems. They don't value their life. They don't value what they have. And they just fall prey to anything that happens. And of course, their natural carnal natures. We all have the nature, but to curb that nature, it requires a higher power, a higher power outside of ourselves to curb that nature, or else we'd fall prey as anybody else. Sometimes people mask it because of societal influence, and they say, okay, well, my children, I don't want my children to feel bad and things like that. That isn't there. And I think sometimes persons said opportunity didn't happen, and you know, but sometimes people can curb that kind of behavior because of external pressures and what is expected and things like that. But left on their own, without any standard, without any morality, people just fall apart.
I like how you put that there, because it's like I was saying earlier, but I like you put it in a better way.
Packaged it well.
Package it well, in that sometimes the young people now looking at the older generations and saw them do so much smart man thing, you know, and so much in the culture that we live in, so much racket and so much getting around, working smart, but really being a smart man. And the problem is, when we have that crisis of character, that no standard, we can't really choose for our children where we would see that happening. So you may be cheating on the job, and your child is looking, but that child may cheat in another way. So because there's a crisis of character in you, there's a crisis of character in the child as well, because there's no standard, as you were saying. And so a child now manifesting negative behavior, we want to come down on them with a big stick. Not understanding that the child may be cheating in school and cheating on robbery or whatever, because they saw your lack of integrity and your lack of standard in the home, maybe even in the spousal relationship. They saw that lack of integrity. And so that's why I really like that point in terms of the crisis of character.
And I also like the point that you gave with regards to the standards, that persons may not have, they went through the entire life, but they may not have had those standards to anchor their value system, and that would then direct how they would live their life. So they're vacillating, okay, this seems like the appropriate behavior, or this seems like I'm an upstanding person in society, so this may not be expected of me. But if the opportunity presents itself, you kind of do it in the dark and cover it up, but then it comes out that you're a cheater and stuff like that. But you really vacillate. So I think it's very important, the God factor as well, because following God then provides that standard that will anchor your values and inoculate you, or curb, as you were saying, curb that behavioral pattern, so that when you follow and you have that perspective shift or that worldview, it will then inform your behavioral choices and your lifestyle ultimately. Not saying that you would never make a mistake, right? As we were speaking about.
Oh, you going back there.
But it would curb, it would basically send your life in a different direction. Your trajectory of your choices would be different. So I think that is very important.
And just coming back to the making a mistake, just you know,
I want to hear your perspective on that.
Sometimes, you know, there can be unguarded moments.
Right. Okay.
Right. And again, if the spouse, you know, is confessed, and you know, I was in a weak area, I was vulnerable here, and you know, and they could acknowledge it, then it's easier for forgiveness to take place. You know, not that forgiveness shouldn't take place based on the response, you know, but the fact is sometimes, you know, in terms of forgiveness, and somebody said forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean reconciliation, but forgiveness and reconciliation can take place based on the context, you know, how person responds. Sometimes, you know, in life, you know, persons put themselves in situations and unwittingly they fall prey to certain situations. Sometimes there's something that's called a law of progressive relationships. You're in a relationship, a normal relationship, maybe a boss, secretary, and they're talking, and the relationship suddenly progresses. But these are some realities that, unless you have a standard again, the relationship progresses and we get to know each other, and it just continues, until you find yourself in a situation, But you always have to put those guards, those boundaries, even in such close relationships, you have to put those boundaries in place. There must be, those lines of demarcation that shouldn't be crossed at all. And those things should be set up even before you start, before you sort of feel any sort of emotional tug,
Right.
We have to be so very careful,
So it should be a principle. So before you feel the feeling that instigates, all right, move out of the situation.
Yes.
Before that feeling even comes, you should have a principle as how you operate
Yes.
and live by that. Lovely, lovely point.
Yes.
Penultimate question. What's the solution? So we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about if men cheat more than women. We spoke about what causes men to cheat. We spoke about the culture in Trinidad, the sexualized culture around the world and the songs and that type of thing. And we want to find the solution now. What is the key ingredient, would you say, in your opinion, to inoculate a relationship and probably yourself against cheating?
Well,
Where's the vaccine?
a lot of a lot of times, people the truth is presented in terms of a solution, but people don't accept it because it's not science-based.
Okay.
Sometimes we value science more than the Word of God.
Oh, right.
The Word of God says a lot of things that should help us to guide us and to be that stabilizing factor in our lives. But unless science proves it, and of course it could be the fact that we speak into postmodern minds and they want to see proof, and we understand that, at the same time. But the Word of God, thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against you. The Word of God is the most important factor in keeping us guarded against these sorts of, behaviors, Job 31 and verse 1, it says, Job says, I made a covenant with my eyes that I would not look upon a maid. I made a covenant. If we can make a covenant with our eyes, we look at Philippians 4:8, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever honest, whatsoever good report, if there be any virtue, any praise, think on these things.
What was the text with the eyes again? Let me write that down for somebody fellas
Job
online.
31 and verse 1. Job 31 and
Pastor,
verse 1.
again, big support in the chat. I just want to let you know that.
And the Bible says, we're talking about cheating now, right? And Proverbs 5 and verse 15 talks about draw water from your own wells.
All right.
All right.
Draw water from
Take
your
it
own wells.
how you
These are
need
sage
to take it.
advice from the wise man,
Yes.
from God's word. Draw water. Go about in broken cisterns, in other wells and things like that. You have your own. You draw water from your own well. We're talking about cheating. And one man says, and I'll say this, one man says, if I have a Benz or Audi in my garage, why I look to go and steal a Tida? No offense to those who have Tidas.
That's what the man say.
Right? That's the man say.
No shade. You understand? We want to
But
bankrupt Tida
if
in
I have a
Nissan.
Benz in my garage, why should I go to look for a Tida? We have to value our relationships and we have to value the persons and, treat them well. And, we've made a commitment, we have made a covenant, and embrace the person that you have. And be the kind of person that you would want that the person would want you to be, and that person, vice versa. Treat that person well so that you have a valuable relationship, and you don't need to go outside. You don't need to look anywhere, because except that kind of itch, that kind of itch, that kind of thing, But keep your relationship intact. Keep the emotional closeness, the emotional connection with your spouse, and trust God and let God guide you. There would be those moments, sometimes, but you keep that, the standard, the word of God, keep that secure and intact, and God will guide us.
So, Kareina, you want to share something because you're laughing the whole time.
No.
Before we give you the final question.
I'm good. I was just looking at the chat as well. Somebody, Joseph Dennis saying Tita owners picking up their pitchforks. I'm just laughing.
Arming themselves. So
I was just making a quote, right?
It was a quotation, guys. It was a quotation. But we want to put a wrap on this evening's very healthy discussion, and we want to ask you to address a viewer or viewers who found themselves in such a situation. You know, they've been the victim, or they themselves have perpetrated this cheating, and they're in a position of feeling guilty. They're in a position of unforgiveness, and cheating is so prevalent in our society, and I guarantee you somebody who's looking here has been cheated on or has cheated. What is our message? What's the message we want to leave with them here tonight that can really resonate through eternity with them?
Well, God loves the cheater. God loves the cheater. He doesn't love the sin, but he loves the cheater.
Didn't think you'd have started
so. So in terms of helping people to understand that they have violated, they have made a mistake, and they want to retrace back the steps to where they were in their relationship before. You want to get back there. When you're in a dark place, you go back to where you saw the light, you first saw the light. You're in a dark place, a situation in your marriage, you want to go back. And if you can rekindle the love that you shared before, trust is difficult to be restored immediately, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. The behaviors after has to commensurate with that forgiveness and extending love and extending mercy. The behaviors afterwards. It can't be, well, I said I'm sorry, and that kind of thing, and what do you want me to do? You have to be compassionate and forbearing and empathize with the other person, walk in the other person's shoe and understand where they're feeling. Now, it happens on both sides, because we could talk about the cheater themselves, because the cheater themselves go through a lot of stuff too, besides the fact that, they may cheat, and we're talking about men, but sometimes it's a lonely road, sometimes a lot of stress, because you have to live a double life. You have to think about your in-laws are watching you, passing you. It's a stressful experience as well. But sometimes the ego allows us to just go through anyway, and say disregard it. But it can be stressful for even the person who is cheating. And so we have to have compassion and sort of extend the olive branch, because sometimes it could be difficult for the person to come back, accept, that kind of openness and warmth is extended in the relationship. Person who have been cheated on, of course, we already know they need to value themselves as well. It's not about you, it was never about you, but about, the whole promiscuous ideas of the person.
Because they can blame themselves.
Yeah, they can blame themselves, they can find themselves in a rut, and so we just place value on individuals, on the relationship, and trust God, extend forgiveness, extend mercy. God has forgiven me, he has forgiven you in any situation against him. And we want to extend that same forgiveness to others as well, extending mercy and unconditional love in relationships.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you to all of our viewers online for joining us here. Remember to like this video. Please like it, and we want to encourage you. Please share the video. Share the video in all your networks. We want people to benefit. And of course, as we said the last time, too many of you are viewing and not subscribed. Yes. Please subscribe. It would mean the world to the Merge group for us to get this message out there and to just build this program as we as a community continue to grow together. So we want to say good night to each and every one of you. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to our guru. Again, you heard it here tonight. Why do men cheat? We spoke about all the dynamics. And of course, there's always grace in the eyes of Jesus to change your cheating ways. For those of you who would have heard. And of course, there's always forgiveness. Why are you laughing? There's grace. There is grace. You know, and so we're gonna thank everyone for being here tonight and continue to allow God to transform you. As we see you next month, we're gonna deal with the topic again, money and power in relationships, part 2. So you don't want to miss it. Part 1 was lit. You can go back, check out that video if you missed it. But we're gonna have part 2, and it's gonna be dynamic. So again, we love to be here because we're always better together.
Better with you.
Good night.